Thank you, Rob. I'll call our committee of the whole meeting agenda to order here this morning. I need a motion to amend the agenda due to an update regarding the Thornbury Acres matter. And the motion would read that the agenda be amended to add an additional closed item regarding litigation or potential litigation and that notice of this item be waived. We need a 2/3 majority. When someone please, Councillor Mackey, Councillor DeBreen, any discussion? All those in favor? I think we got our 2/3. Thank you so much. Is there any declaration of interest related to any matter on this agenda? Seeing none. Any business arising from minutes? Any delegations? I don't think so. Determination of items requiring separate discussion on the consent agenda. Anyone wish any of those be removed for further direction? Councillor Eccles.
Nothing to be removed, but just one thing on the minutes of the committees. Noticed that some of the committees have listed, and this is more towards Tara, all the members, and then some of them just have the consistency in that, and some of them just the members that were absent. Just for consistency, wondered whether we could get that these are the members that were there and the ones that were absent. Thank you.
Good point. Thank you, Councillor Eccles. Anyone else? Councillor McQueen.
Yes, I'd like to pull 6D, please. 6D.
70.
6D, I'm like,
Yeah, because we had a motion.
oh, okay.
So to be clear, which one are we pulling? Okay, good. All right, any others? Seeing none, would someone care to move the acceptance of all the other items? Councillor Matrosovs, save and accept 6B or D rather. Councillor Eccles, second. I have 6D as in Dornell. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. The Budget and Finance Committee meeting minutes dated October 28th. Okay. Oh, okay. That's the confusion. All right. Sorry. So I'll look to the clerk for a little clarification of where we go from here. Paper stands, paper rules as always. So we'll 6D is the item that is being removed for further consideration. We won't forget it now. Is right. Exactly. Did I have a mover and seconder for the rest? I think I did. Yep. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. Okay. We have one item for direction and discussion, and then we'll come back to the budget. Anne Marie, welcome. And I need a mover and seconder for that one, please. Councillor Eccles, seconded by Councillor Kentner. Thank you. Anne Marie, please.
Good morning, County Council. This report is to obtain approval for a tender award for an elevator replacement at 305 14th Street, which is our high rise, and award it to Alan Hastings. The reason I'm here is that it is over our $500,000 limit and requires council approval according to our purchase policy. Our high rise is an 8-story or 8-floor apartment building. It has 2 elevator cars. The current elevator system has reached its end of its useful life. It requires frequent repairs, and those parts are becoming harder for us to find. So for the scope of work, it was developed by Rooney, Irving and Associates, and we issued a tender to modernize 2 geared traction elevators, including new cars, motors, electrical systems, mechanical systems, life safety systems, and any guarding equipment. This is the first time we've replaced an elevator, so new experience for us. The tender was posted in August, and we actually did not receive any bids at that time. And then it was reposted in October. We received the one bid as shown. Our budget was $800,000. It did come in 851, 871 plus applicable taxes. We are going to put it into the 2025 budget and add the $66,000 required from our reserves. That way we will be able to continue next year. We want to let the bidder know right away, because we know that they'll have to order parts and it'll take a while for those to come in before the elevator can be installed. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Are there any questions? Councillor Nielsen.
Just a quick question in terms of the logistics of the repair. Being the size and scope, you're saying that there's 2 elevators that operate. We'll be replacing kind of one at a time, so there'll be a working elevator. Just want to make sure that the residents wouldn't see any major interruptions.
Hopefully they don't have to do any more stair walking than they do frequently as it is. Any other questions? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Anne Marie. Okay, we'll go back to 6D, which is the Budget and Finance Committee minutes dated October 28th. Councillor McQueen, what would you wish to have done with those, or you're looking for an amendment, or? Go ahead.
Mr. Wilson. And thank you for this time to discuss the minutes from that committee. And just as note, I know on those minutes, I think going back to what Councillor Eckles was saying, it didn't say who the chair was. There were some points missing in that in those minutes, just in the sense of what I noticed in there. But more importantly, so talks in there about the there was no background information on the October 28th agenda that was in front of these minutes. But so going back to those minutes itself, it did talk about a slightly below a 4% budget increase. So I'm going to speak to that. Start with to me, I think 4% is too high for a county, Grey County council budget. It did talk in those minutes that we in growth received $2,025,436,000 in growth. And that's the largest we've ever received. So I know probably we see things are slowing down out there. Obviously, the growth assessment is catching up, or would be coming in from those buildings that are getting finalized and final assessed, and then coming in as the growth at the 2016 level, as we understand. So I just feel that the 4% is way too high. I know from a lower tier perspective, those that are on OPP are seeing a huge increase. Again, it was on CBC this morning. There may be some relief coming. I don't know. There was correspondence on our budget, or on our agenda today, from the town of Wasaga Beach that we received. So we know we're going to get pressure there, along with other areas of our local budget. So personally, myself, I won't be supporting a 4% budget at the county here. I think I'd like to see maybe more under a 3%, or maybe even a 2% budget. I think there's ways that we can look at that. I'll go back to the minutes of the Urban Road and Road Exchange Task Force, and originally we had a 465,000 suggested increase on some roads to be changed, but then it jumped to $2,095,880 increase of some other changes. So I think this did come to our county council a few meetings back, that there's maybe between a need and a want. So again, I'm raising these points that it's early in the days. I know at the budget committee meeting, there was no background information on those numbers. Obviously, it's at the committee level still. So, well, I went here this morning and I couldn't seem to find any link to all of the budget itself.
Just, I have a point of order here. Councillor DeBreen.
Thank you. Good morning, Warden Milne. These are minutes from a meeting, and it hasn't actually been presented in a report to County Council for debate. We're already hearing an opinion of where it should be, and I'm just wondering if this is in order. Thank you.
Good point. Good point. I mean, Councillor McQueen makes some good points as well, but I'll have to agree with Councillor DeBreen. Do you have a question regarding the minutes or any are there any mistakes in the minutes in your opinion?
Well, the one was, it didn't say who the chair was, but the point I'm raising is this is at a committee level. We've changed our process that we do have committee at this stage. We will be seeing those numbers. I guess it's more of a comment to the minutes that I'm stating that 4% is too high.
Fair enough. Good point. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there will be lots of discussion, and I think we can agree it's going to be an extremely difficult budget year, as it was last year. Any other discussion regarding this particular item? Oh, I need a mover and seconder to accept that. Councillor Eccles and Councillor Gregg. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. All right, okay, closed meeting matters. We need a motion or a mover and a seconder to that the committee of the whole does now go into closed session pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act as amended and regarding staffing. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. That's number one. And number two is litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative affecting the municipality. Yep. And we're going to do the litigation planning item first. Someone care to move that, please? Councillor Pringle, Councillor Patterson. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Rob. We are now back in open session, and I can confirm that we only discussed those matters on the closed meeting agenda. Other business, Roma delegations. Kim has a suggestion that we might want to talk to the minister about rural transportation. Anyone else have any other thoughts? Councillor Mackey.
Thanks, Mr. Warden. Talking about rural transportation, does that would be with the MTO? Could we also include the issues that most municipalities are having regarding entrance permits and delays in the application process? Or at least we've been having a lot of difficulty in our municipality. I'm hearing that others are having the same difficulty with the length of time. For example, where our old community center is, we're trying to get a building permit and we've been held up for a number of months on an existing permit to an old arena site that we want to put a pavilion up. So it's just ridiculous, you know, what they're putting us through. So
I know that's yeah. Yeah, we can do that. MTO is not known for being tardy. Councillor Eccles.
Still with the concerns, and it is still boiling over. Ministry of Health on rural health care in our hospitals closing or going to be closed.
Absolutely, we can request that. Anyone else? Okay, if anyone has any thoughts in the next couple, 3 weeks or so, by all means, let Kim know and we can put those together. Sorry, what? Oh, Councillor McQueen, go ahead.
Just to follow up on that, if there is some collaboration with lower tiers to be involved with that same delegation, obviously through the CAO's process, and that could be something that sometimes collectively it's maybe better than individual, but I know some of those are similar, could be similar themes to our lower tiers as well. So,
yep, absolutely. Councillor DeBreen.
In that vein, through you, Warden, OPP billing, we have this an equal, like a collective voice.
It makes a bit of it's a tough pitch when it's not a county issue, really. I mean, collectively it is, but Councillor Gregg.
I guess the only thing I would say is in the last several years, particularly with high inflation, tons of immigration, tons of demand, the federal government and the provincial government are making far more money than they ever have Yet municipalities continue to have one main stream of revenue, and that's property tax. And if there's one thing I think in front of us all, it's the funding gap. If there's one thing we should be meeting and begging the government at both levels for, it's funding streams to support us and not have this all fall to the taxpayer. So I'm wondering if that's something that we should be trying to rally before ministry for, every opportunity for increased funding streams from the governments that have been rolling in the revenue, and the numbers don't lie.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, we can work on that too. All right, like I said, if something else comes to mind, get in touch with Kim. Oh, do we need them? Okay, we need. All right. Any notice of motion? We have one more motion to adjourn. Councillor DeBreen, Councillor McQueen, all in favor? We're adjourned, 12:15. Thank you, everyone.